Whoa, 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 stop scrolling. Just stop for a moment and watch this video. We are constantly scrolling on Facebook. We are constantly scrolling on Instagram and other social media platforms, searching and looking outside of ourselves for something, anything, to not feel so alone, to feel more connected, and to really just have the opportunity to get deeper into our hearts. And if you've ever experienced anxiety or depression, then you're really gonna want to watch this video. It might even change your life and hopefully will shift you away from those feelings of anxiety and depression. And I'm very nervous right now, honestly, because I don't share my story very much. My story is a really big one, and there's a lot of different things that I could tell you, but the primary thing that I wanted to share is that I've suffered from panic attacks, social anxiety, and depression, really intense depression, my entire life until I started on my spiritual path. When I was a really little girl, my family said that I used to have just fits of rage, fits of anger. I would just lose my shit. And that led into really crazy swings, bipolar swings from a psychological perspective in my teens. And back then, I'm 34, back in the time of my teens, I think I was around 11 or 12, there wasn't a lot of information on the internet. There wasn't even Facebook yet. We were on MySpace, people. So my parents did what they thought was the best thing to do and took me to a doctor. But instead of talking out my feelings, they just prescribed me antipsychotics. And I was on antidepressants and then anti-anxiety pills and then more antidepressants for many, many years. I would say throughout college. And the depressants were making me anxious and the anxiety pills were giving me depression, and it was this really intense negative loop. This loop led me into a serious drug addiction in my 20s in college. The moment I was able to get away from the parental care of my incredible mother, I didn't know how to handle my emotional self, and I didn't know how to really live a life of happiness. So I did drugs. I explored with that, but that led to having to do drugs to just function. I was living in New York City and I was doing so much cocaine. I would wake up and do lines of cocaine before I even went to finish my classes at Hunter College, where I went to. And so much of the trauma that we hold on to, so much of the trauma that we store within our own physical vessels, within our heart, within our emotional selves and bodies, is not conscious. We're not even aware of the memories that are triggering the emotional responses that we are living with every single day. So I could never figure out why I was anxious. I did not learn to accept all of the fragmentations and all of that shadow, all of that's not so lovely. I just never learned to love myself. But honestly, I didn't even know it was there to love. I wasn't conscious of all of the things that I needed to love. If there's anything that I can share with you, if you're really feeling anxious, if you're really feeling depressed, it's most likely due to a program in your subconscious mind that is continually triggering the emotional response of flight or fight in your body. And our bodies are either in two states. They're either in rest and response or fight or flight. They can't be in both. But most of us are living in the latter. And that is because of all of these emotional stagnation, this emotional trauma from our childhood that we've never looked at or even known that is there to look at. And this can come out as frustration, it can come out as hesitation, it can come out as anger, it can come out as you just taught the most amazing yoga class, and then you get in your car and tell someone to go fuck off in traffic, and then you come home to, this is a story of mine, by the way, and then you come home to your boyfriend at the time, and you just can't deal with receiving his love, and you don't know why, or when your mom calls, you lose all your shit just because of the triggers, the emotional entanglement that you haven't yet freed up and liberated from a cellular perspective in your body. So I want to tell you about breath work, and you can do this at home. Anyone can breathe. You're breathing right now. But the specific technique that I've learned from my teacher, David Elliott, and the technique that I share has really changed my life. Yoga was the gateway, and breath work really has taken my conscious awareness, my spiritual practice, my spiritual development to another level, because the mind will never be satisfied with only mind-based activities. So all of the personal development, all of the books, all of the seminars, all of the videos are incredible from a cognitive understanding. The ego loves them. And yes, you are shifting things, because if you're shifting from the mind, if you're shifting the thoughts, you can shift things from a physiological standpoint. But what about all of the stuff that's already there? That's already within you. If you're not conscious to it, how do you know how to shift it? And that's why breath work is so powerful and so magical. You don't need to understand or even be fully aware of why you're having the emotional responses that you're having, why you're stressed out, because the breath is truly medicine in the body. It will work through things for you. And the breath will allow you to bypass the intellectual mind and drop into awareness, pure conscious awareness of all that you are, beyond the limiting patterns, stories, and identity that you might have as someone who suffers with anxiety or even depression. So if you are struggling again with any of these things, or if you're just looking to be a little bit less stressed out, I invite you to try breath work. There are so many teachers that offer this. I offer this. Again, my mentor is David Elliott. He offers it, and it is an absolute incredible soul. And I will be offering a virtual online breathwork medicine circle starting this Sunday, and we'll host that every single month moving forward. So I invite you to reach out, comment below, and ask me how to join that. I also have an online course coming up called Holistic Detox that provides you also breathwork, group breathwork every week, but really going into the ways in which we've crafted our identity and how to detox not only from our thoughts, but detoxing the body, the breath, the mind, everything all together, so you leave with more clarity, more purpose, and more connection to community. And then also, if you're in Berlin, there will be a full day immersion this week. So there's so many ways to get out there. But again, you can just simply breathe. So reach out to me. There's tons of meditations online. I can share with you the specific breath work. You don't need a teacher. It's definitely easier with a teacher, I think, because you give the brain has an activity, and the teacher is there helping support and hold space for you as you drop into these really beautiful places. But I do it every single day just by myself. So the tools are out there. There are ways to heal. There are ways that you can move away from feeling anxious and feeling depressed. And they're here. They're here waiting for you to experience them. So empower yourself, reclaim your power. It's time, and liberate your mind. Get to your mat, get to breathe in even more. And thank you so much for allowing me to share my story.